everybody, this is Christina at Scrapcraft and Stitchery, and today I am working in my visual journal, and I've been doing my, well, kind of working in my visual journal. Not really, I'm gonna veer off and do a watercolor. But I'm working on the artisan journal prompt, and this is a prompt that's hosted by Kiki at Kiki's Life and by co-hosted by Lori June at Sarcastically 60 something. And the prompt for this week, which is week 39, is orange. And so Kiki has given us this prompt early. And so I have a little bit of time, and I'm actually working on this over the course of a week because I have this little bit of extra time, and I thought it would be fun to kind of explore the color of orange. So I'm going to take 7 days to do this, I hope, okay? And things are not going to plan because sometimes chaos happens, but that's okay. We're making up for it. So more on that. But for week 39, Artisan Journal prompt 2025 is orange. The bonus prompt is punched circle. So I'm gonna try and incorporate that here a little bit. So for day one, I did some journaling, and I have this kind of orange already journal page in here. This is the home where I've decorated this. I got some Happy Mail from a friend of mine, and I made, this is the letter she sent me, and this is a book page envelope that I made, and I used the things from her, from the Happy Mail to decorate this envelope that I made out of a book page. And I have also tucked in a gratitude leaf. In here is hiding with a gratitude. This is a gratitude for my friend Karen Dawn, who kind of got me introduced to art journaling to begin with. So very cool. But this is my schedule, and I am going to combine the first 3 days, and I'll tell you the reason. So the first day I just made a plan, and I did some journaling about what I wanted to do for this and thinking about it. And so day one is orange journaling, and this is really just kind of bullet list journaling. And day two is orange compliment, and that's what I'm going to show you now. And I did this yesterday because yesterday was really the second day that I was working on this. Today is actually day 3, which is orange symbols. So I'm going to show you orange compliment, and while I work on that, I'm going to incorporate orange symbols. And the beautiful thing for this is going to make this a little bit easier for me. Tomorrow is blend orange into a sunset, because that's something I saw recently on another YouTube short, I think, was just using different colors, and orange was one of them. Day 5 is orange I like, or orange I like best, which is probably kind of a rusty brown orange. And on day 6, I might try an orange tree painting, which I think is going to be a fall painting. It sounds like it's an orange tree, but I think it's a fall tree. And then day 7 is a wild card, and I can kind of revisit whatever I liked most. So hopefully you're seeing this all as one video anyway. Hopefully you're seeing this video. That is all I can say. Oh, that's the plan. Okay. So I did this exercise yesterday, and my hard drive crashed, and I lost all my videos. So I'll show you what I worked on yesterday, because this is actually really what I did all day in my studio yesterday. Is this supposed to be like a 10-minute visiting of orange, by the way? I didn't say that. what I decided was to think about orange for 10 minutes every day for a week. That was my intention with this. So yesterday is what I wanted to tell you is that all colors have a complement, and the complement of, and that's the color that's across from the color on the color wheel, right? So orange is made out of yellow and red, and the other primary color is blue, and that's what's across from orange. And so, right, I saw this YouTube video and I didn't get this. I forgot to go get her name, and I will do that before. I'll put her in the link in the description below to this video that I saw, and it was brilliant, and it was mind-changing, just game-changing for me when I saw this, because she was saying that she does watercolor tutorials, and they're beautiful, and they're simple, and they're easy, and they're so much fun to watch, and she's such a joy. And you should definitely watch her channel, even though I can't think of her name right now. Because honestly, I don't pay attention to that. I just watch the videos when they come up in my feed. But she was saying that you can use, and she did 3 citrus fruit, and she did a lemon first, I think. But she was suggesting, she said, she demonstrated that you can use the complementary color to make shadows for this, and I thought it would be fun to try this with a pumpkin that is orange. And so I have a piece of watercolor paper, and I'm just going to make the shadows for my pumpkin. I'm going to do a pumpkin on here, and we'll see what we can get. I know how this is going to work because I've watched a tutorial, and also I did this about 4 times yesterday, right? So I know what's going to happen here. Now, the thing and the reason why her saying this was so game-changing for me is because, you know, people have told me not to mix complementary colors because they say you will make mud. And so I just have always tried to avoid doing exactly what I'm doing right now. And she showed it, and it just blew my mind for that reason. So I'm not going to do the whole outline. I'm not going to do the whole pumpkin. I'm just going to do the places where I want this to be dark and shaded. And so I'm just going to draw in the, I don't know, kind of the outline of the pumpkin, if you will. You know how the pumpkin has the lines that come down, and so the light's going to be kind of coming from the top and this side a little bit. And so I am going to leave that. And I think also right now, I didn't do this yesterday, but because I've been practicing, I am going to maybe kind of just draw in as well where I want the stem to go. I'm going to go in and color this back in later, but I think this will be kind of an interesting experiment. And let's see what happens with this. Shall we? Okay, I love that. So you want this to dry, because you don't want these colors to mix, because you don't. But this is also dry on, or wet on dry, so it's not going to take too long. I am going to go ahead, and while I'm waiting, I'm just going to kind of fill in what maybe I want this stem to look like. Why not, right? I think this is going to be kind of a brown stem. Maybe a little green. I think it'll just make it a little bit darker with this blue underneath. And I'll show you the pumpkins that I made yesterday at the end of this so you can see. It was just very fun for me. I got very excited because I kind of like the way these came out, and I was really having a good time playing with this. So instead of doing the other things that I had planned for yesterday, I decided to just do some watercolor. Okay, so I'm going to say this is pretty dry already. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and add the orange. And I did water this blue down quite a bit, and I should really kind of clean this palette up so that I have space or get some other palette. Just gonna want to water this down a little bit, and so it's watercolory like and not just really thick paint. That was a thing. So one of the things, as I mentioned before, I'm working on is really trying to leave white spaces in my work. Look at this, is kind of getting a little bumpy out there, and I kind of like that. And I'm just going to go over this blue, right over it, which, as I said, I mean, I was always told not to mix. And if anybody said anything at all about color theory, it was do not mix. So when I heard her say this, see how lumpy this is? And then this one's like just not lumpy at all. I'm going to try and build a little lumpiness into this pumpkin because I want it to be not a perfect pumpkin. I want it to be kind of knobby and wobbly. Knobbly wobbly here. So this just kind of blew my mind when she showed this and how you get these like colors coming, and I'm going to try and leave some white, and I have a little bit of white developing there that I kind of like, so I'm going to add that. As I said, I mean, I didn't really intend, I just wanted to touch on orange every day. That was my plan. And so I was sitting down to touch on orange, and I decided to do this complement color thing and test it out, which was great. I was super excited when I decided to do this because of, I mean, I had seen this and I wanted to try it, and I hadn't tried it yet, and that's what I thought of. And I really kind of got excited, and I did 4 full paintings, and they kind of got better as I went along, and I was really able to kind of start to establish what I wanted these to look like. They stopped looking like the tutorial pumpkin that I had watched a couple of weeks ago, and they started to really kind of take on more and more of what I wanted them to look like. And so that was kind of neat, and I was kind of excited that I got to spend a little bit of time doing this. And so you're gonna see hopefully a little bit of that, but I have been practicing kind of where you can't see. And so I'm just kind of stippling in a little bit of paint along here and adding more paint till it looks like what I want it to look like. I wonder if I can get that up. I think it's already dried, and I don't think I'm gonna get it to come up. I got some of it. And that's good enough because I'm gonna put some like brown dirt down here anyway when this is drier. When it's dried, I will put in some brown, and I think that that will blend right in, and it will be fine. Don't you worry. So yeah, my hard drive crashed, and so I am redoing this because I guess it was destined to do a little more practice of coloring these pumpkins and to return to this, which is actually, I mean, probably a blessing in disguise because I was really happy with the results that I was getting because I had chosen to repeat this again and again and again yesterday, and now I am not so much choosing to do it. I'm not. I guess I don't have to do anything, right? We don't have to do anything, but I'm choosing to do this and playing around with this. So I'm gonna say what I am supposed to be doing today with this, because I was going to study orange for 7 days in a row, and this is the third day, and on the third day, I don't know if you remember, I was going to think about the symbolisms of pumpkins of orange, and I kind of want to just start out by saying that orange is not my favorite color. Let's put it that way. And I like all colors, and I don't dislike orange. It's just that I kind of avoid it in my artwork, and I think partially because I don't like to wear orange. I think it makes me look kind of sickly, I guess. Some people can wear orange and do beautifully, but it just does not suit me, in my opinion. And so, and I do like to wear a lot of blue and green, my eyes are green, and I just am more comfortable with that palette because I've maybe played with it more, I wear more of it. And so, and the other thing is like red and orange and yellow, I think are colors that are cautionary colors or alarming colors. I always think of orange as being a color that like hunters wear. And so because of that, I do think that I've kind of avoided orange for that reason, is just because it's an alarming color, I guess. And so I just have kind of always avoided using it in my artwork. So one of the things I wanted to kind of take and consider, having said all of that, I wanted to take a little bit of time this week to maybe kind of think about how I can re-symbolize in my mind orange so that it's more like when I hear orange or use orange to think about things more like pumpkins and fall and soft autumn colors, and maybe have those things pop into my mind, you know, first, rather than like, oh no, it's orange, like warm, crackling, inviting campfires more than like alarming things. So that is, and I think as I was doing pumpkins yesterday, I do think that I kind of got into that. I am going to go ahead and add in some of the green into this stem now and add another layer, and hopefully that will kind of finish this up. I'm just having fun layering this. I didn't try this yesterday. But I do think that, like, spending the time that I spent with the orange yesterday, I spent hours painting pumpkins. I will show them to you as promised here in a minute. How does that look? I kind of like that. So I have already yesterday kind of worked through this symbolism, but I wanted to talk about it today because it is day 3 and I'm supposed to be working on this. So I'm really working on here I'm going to try using vintage photo, and I am going to put some just ground on here like I mentioned I was going to, and don't yell at me for putting water onto my distress ink here. We'll see how this works. Kind of, what are we doing? I don't know. I'm gonna just get a dab of water there. There we go. There's some ground, right? That looks good. So I'm trying to change my feelings about orange a little bit, because I find that I don't like working with it because I don't know. As I said, it's not my favorite color. It's not the color I reach for, and but it is a lovely color. This is a beautiful pumpkin. I like this a lot. So I will wait for this to dry, and then I'm going to add some colored pencil to it to kind of bring out some of this. And yes, and I might add a little bit of pumpkin vine to this as well, but I am gonna wait for it to dry first because I don't want to worry about all of that. But I will show you. These are the ones I did yesterday, and this is probably my least favorite one. I went a little crazy with the vines, and this is a yellow one that I did with some purple underneath. You can see how like it really works to add a lot of like cool shadowing to it. But this one, I don't know, it's not my favorite one. And then this one is a little bit better. I do like the pumpkin leaves on this one. These vines are like a little crazy coming out of there, but you know, I do like the shadow at the bottom. I think it came out really cool. And then this one, I really love how this one came out. It does kind of look like a tomato, I guess, is what my partner said, but same ideas. I added a lot more reds to this one, and these are finished. I've already gone in and added I added some like very dark, deep purple along the bottom to make the shadows, and I think it just looks so good. And this is my favorite one. But you can see that they're kind of really starting to develop a whole different character from the ones where I started out. And this is, I mean, I'll show you those that I made, was it last week? These are the first pumpkins that I did, and they're kind of all the same, but you can see that I've I started to add a lot more color, and I think they look a little more, I don't know, maybe not realistic, but they're coming right along. Like, look at this blue one. Look at that. Look at that. Anyway, practice, practice, practice. It's coming along. That's the story here. If you practice, you get better. I don't know if that's a public service announcement or something that I have just discovered and I'm sharing with you. Surely not. You must already know this. Okay. Great. I wanted you to know. Just wanted you to know. And I am here practicing again because that's what we're doing. And I might go, and one of the things I'm going to do this because I want to try it, and we're practicing, and this is all good. I'm going to add a vine in here, and yesterday I didn't like my vines, and partially because I used a really big brush for the pumpkins, and I just went ahead and used that for the vines as well. And I wanted to try just doing vines with this smaller brush so that I get a little bit of a chance at making a little bit finer line instead of that big, like, I was struggling, I tell you. It was hard. It was because sometimes you just need to get, the right tool. And then you can go crazy making these little, like, tiny corkscrews. And also, I mean, I might give these away as a gift if I really like them. Or I'm thinking of actually hanging some of these on the wall in my house. But I'm not, going to be selling these or anything. These are just practice pieces. So... just for fun, I'm doing some pumpkins, so I might as well, kind of get out there and try what I want to try and learn what I want to learn and practice what I want to practice. And we are practicing with orange today, and it's a great time in the world. Do you guys have colors that you don't like or avoid for reasons? Let me know in the comments below. I'm curious. I don't know, maybe I am the only one who thinks about these things, but I don't know if I let this dry enough. That is another thing that I learned yesterday. That is a thing that I have been told, but I experienced yesterday was, don't paint over your wet painting because you won't be happy. Oops. I like that. It looks a little bit like it's in the background because it's like a little bit fainter. Okay. So yes, do try different brushes. You don't have to paint the whole thing with the same brush, and do practice and do have fun doing these things. because this is just, you know, it's just a great place to play. It's a great space to have, and to have a little bit of time to just, you know, consider orange. Okay, with that, I'm going to leave you with those reflections on orange. We are growing as a person and growing to love orange. I think tomorrow I get to play around with oranges that I actually really do like, and I am starting to get a really cool idea for for something I want to do, and how I can incorporate using punch circles, which is the bonus prompt, and using orange. And I'm gonna have to go and look at something that I did recently, I think, and see if I can remember how I did that. Until next time, well, I'll be back tomorrow, and you're gonna see this tomorrow, so I'm not gonna say no goodbyes for today. Sorry, but I can't wait for tomorrow. overboard on the bottom of this. It's just way too stark. Way too stark. I can't get it to blend in anymore. I ruined it. It's fine. Anyway, lessons learned here is that, yeah, a little bit is good, but it can be overdone. I mean, it was just a very thin line. Very thin line, very much right at the bottom. The peach bottomed pumpkin. Okay.